Over the past few seasons, we have had to ask ourselves the same two questions, and the start of this year is no different. The two questions are very much intertwined. Question one being whether or not this team is good enough to be worthy enough of following along on a week-by-week basis, and subsequently, whether or not we are a playoff team. And so far through 2 games this year, we don't yet know where we stand, despite having, of course, the best overall rating that the team has ever had. In this episode, we continue on with this season, and time will tell whether or not this truly is our first year of going week by week through every single week of the season, or if it's going to end up being similar to the last few years, where we end up waving the white flag, simming through the rest of the season, and trying to get to yet another draft where hopefully we can find the missing pieces to the puzzle. We start off this episode week 3 against the Colts here at home, and needless to say, the pressure is on to get the win, but we're still in that rough spot of, if we're not a winning team, it's not all that bad because, hey, higher draft picks, but we might be good enough to screw ourselves out of even higher draft picks that would certainly be even more helpful. It has been a constant dilemma. That's it. Through the first quarter, we go here in this game against the Colts. Who will strike first? The answer will not be revealed until at least the second quarter. It's a scoreless first, as, man, I think we just failed on the goal line. The Colts get the opening score of the game, 7-0, and that scoreline will hold until halftime. So we are shut out through the first half. Not an ideal start by any stretch of the imagination. We respond with a field goal. The Colts respond in kind. 10-3. 15 minutes to go in regulation. Let's see if the offense can get it going. They do indeed. We have tied this game. 2 minutes left. Ball on the 43. Let's find out if the team is capable of getting it done. Let's do this. McCormick, I believe in you because I have to believe in you. We might have started this a little bit too early. Time will tell. But here we go. High snap. McCormick the handoff to Hughes. He doesn't make it very far. He actually loses a yard on the play. They are running the hurry up, which, again, I cannot stand when it does that. I am going to have no choice but to run this play. Cool. God, I hate how this happens, and we will see. Boy, I don't even know if the play action's going to work. I hope it does. Let's find out here. Quick little, okay, game? What? I can't throw. Oh my God, it did that glitch again. All right, well, for the record, I was going to hit a wide open B receiver there, and we probably, you know what? Okay, game, you're going to play it that way? No, I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm taking over. I refuse, outright refuse to let you do that to me, as to where it's like, oh, here's the hurry up, and then, for no reason, mind you, and then that happens. I am going to waste a little bit of time off the clock just in case, but man, EA, come on. It runs the hurry up even though I'm not playing, and then it locks the quarterback and refuses to let me throw. That is something special, let me tell you. Let's see what happens here. No promises, and the O-line just completely falls apart. All right, note to self, don't even watch. Don't even watch. Unbelievable. Let's see what happens here. Colts will take over on their own 26 with 33 seconds to go. 2 timeouts as well. Are we going to overtime? Yes, we are. We're going to OOT. Cool. Whatever that means. There's a brand new overtime invented. Colts get the ball first. Can we stop them? Big 3rd and 2nd here. They end up getting the first down on a 5-yard rush. First down play is stopped. They lose 4 yards. Another big 3rd down here. We will be taking over. Can we get the job done? Let's find out. Again, we'll just go change of possession. We'll never jump in. Marching down the field, we are forced to punt. 5 minutes left in this game. We might have to hope for a draw. The Colts forced to punt. 1:07 left. Is there a late surge to win this game? I guess not. Going to double overtime in the regular season, even though there are ties. I swear to God, this game's breaking itself. The Colts end up winning. What the fuck just happened? So, I get the glitch where my team runs the hurry up and it refuses to let me control the quarterback. And then we go to double overtime? If I'm not mistaken, double overtime is not a thing in the regular season. Unless something changed. McCormick, 32 of 55. You can see his scoreline. You can see Hughes, Mack had a pretty good game. Offensive line struggled tremendously. You don't say. I don't understand what just happened there. And how we were just absolutely robbed of a tie. God damn it. Oh, man. Sometimes it is tough. It is tough to defend this game. It really is. Basman Campbell goes up to a 73. Is now a scheme fit. That's incredibly helpful. So we fall to 1-2 on the season rather than straight ones. And needless to say, if we lose in week 4 and week 5, the white flag will be waved. Weekly awards, not going to be James. It is going to be Darby Klemm. 10 tackles, 4 sacks that game. I didn't even notice. And I'm sorry, I skipped right through it, but I didn't want to give that individual game any more time in the spotlight than what it deserved. Le'Veon Cole wants to get paid, and get paid he will. A $7.7 million offer. Is that enough? Yes, it is. And Ricardo Marshall will be the next player alongside Ofenheusle, who's going to need a new contract. We started off the scouting in the secondary last week. I actually started to do that before I even hit the record button for this episode. We are going to scout out the remaining projected 5th rounders, and we won't bother wasting any points on the 7th rounders. As far as the safeties are concerned, not the deepest draft, clearly. So, wow. Damn, between Stewart. How the hell? What even is that name? Would it be Jahi? Would it be Jay somehow? Come on, man. What even is that name? That is something else. Oh boy, we are playing the 0-3 49ers. I am very much concerned because why would I not be after what just happened in the last episode? This is a perfect Thursday primetime game though. 1-2 against 0-3. That sounds about right for Thursday Night Football, doesn't it? But wow, just what a turn of events that was between the extra overtime, which isn't a thing. Again, I will fully admit to being a tad bit tired, but I don't think I'm blanking that hard on the rules of the NFL in the regular season, unless something's changing. But no, pretty sure we just got screwed out of a draw after getting completely hosed with that hurry-up offense call, when, again, there was no reason for the team to run the hurry-up there. So we'll avoid doing that again now, won't we? Through the first quarter against the San Francisco 49ers, who strike first with the opening field goal. The offense has been struggling to get anything going as of late. We do get the first touchdown of the game, and the score will hold 7-3 at the half. Third quarter. We march down the field, get a field goal out of it. Another quick field goal. It's 13-3. Now 13-6. So there was definitely a turnover there. Do we have what it takes to close out this game? 16-6. Now 16-9. 23-9. Your Arizona Cardinals rebound well. We move to 2-2 on the season. 2-1-1 unofficially, with a nice 23-9 victory over the Niners. Let's take a look at the individual stats here as McCormick, 30 of 41, 331 yards with 1 touchdown. Great day for Joey. Running back wise, Hughes, 23 carries, 83 yards. A touchdown, though, for DeMarcus Reynaud. The receiving core, Wilson led the way with receptions and yardage. Also caught the lone touchdown. You look at the average yards per reception, though. Pretty ridiculous. Blocking wise, only 3 sacks allowed, 2 of them by an offensive lineman, Ofenheusle. Defensively, Ross, Griffith, and King all had great games. A couple of tackles for loss, and Garoppolo had a very rough day. 2 interceptions as well, Le'Veon Cole and Kyrie Griffith. Kicking-wise, Grant Fromm, 3 for 3. Bruce Tootin with 5 punts. But we were able to get the job done. Again, 23 points. It was looking a little bit rough. Not that 23 points is anything to throw a celebration over, but not too bad after we were stumbling heading into the second half. So let's take a look here. Week 5, we do have an upgrade point or two, and just one. It's for A.J. Ross. We'll make him better in terms of run support. He's already a scheme fit. That'll make him even better for the role. If we lost that game, I was going to be tempted to maybe change up a couple of things, playbook and scheme-wise, but for now, I think we're okay. We'll see how the team does. Ricardo Marshall, how do you feel about the opening contract offer? Perfect. Ricardo, welcome back. Ofenheusle, you're terrible, but I still want to hold on to you for now until we can get somebody better on the O-line, hopefully in this upcoming draft. As we'll take a look at the scouting as well before playing the Titans. It is going to be, hopefully, the remaining secondary players. We have 4 safeties left here. Ooh. After Tyrone Money, I should have stopped. Roy Vines, you might be half decent. Not going to do it. And as far as the strong safeties go, Graham Atkins is ridiculous. Connor Lott, not that bad. Ooh, Sean Paul and Andre Bridges, both bad. So we won't waste any more points. Probably didn't have to waste any points after Paul. Those 5th rounders, I'm not even going to bother scouting out. Kicker and a punter, that's fine. Let's move on. I'll try to find, hopefully, a quarterback. And, of course, a big focus here will be the O-line and really the defensive side of the ball. That actually be what we look for instead. Rather than trying to scout at everybody, I mean, odds are we're still going to be able to scout at everybody that we want. There is a D-line scout. There is no O-line scout, though. Sounds about right. Reese Wagner, welcome aboard. And we will waste those extra points, or not really waste them, we have to do it. We'll use those extra points early on to figure out the offensive line situation, including Matt Simon out of Nebraska, who could be an absolute monster and might be off the board by the time we get to pick. Week 5 against the Titans. I think by week 7, we will know for sure what the situation is. We play Seattle next week, I believe, and then we have that bye week. Who knows? Maybe we're still at a 500 record. Maybe we're 2 games below. It's going to be very interesting to see where we stand at that point. See McCormick, 7 touchdowns, 4 picks on the year. Meyer up to 22 tackles. It's nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking. Multiple prevailing thoughts with this team, but it's the same thing that has, I don't want to say surrounded the team or overshadowed the team, but just whether or not we can finally start to make a bit of an impact. We'll find out. It's a big game against Tennessee as they get the opening points, 3-0. Again, another slow start, which is what I'm very concerned about. Another field goal and another field goal, 9-0. Make it 16-0 at halftime. All right. That is not ideal. We do start off with a touchdown and 2-point conversion. Tennessee scores again, though, 23-8. We have a chance here to score. That we fail on. Farrell misses a 56-yarder. That will probably do it for this game. And after the Titans put up points, it definitely will. This game is over. We do march down the field, 26-15, 29-15, 29-22 is how it will end. Another brutally slow start for the offense dooms us early on. By the end of it, McCormick had a half-decent game, 33 of 47, 365 yards with 3 picks, or 3 touchdowns, 2 picks, though. 3 picks would have been a bit ridiculous. The running game was non-existent. Receiving-wise, Wilson led the way. Touchdowns for Farrell, and Hughes. The O-line was okay, Landeta, the only O-lineman allowing a sack that game. Griffith and King had strong games. Got to the quarterback a couple of times, no picks. And Grant Frome, 0 for 3. 0 for 3 in terms of field goals. We win this game if Grant Frome can hit a field goal. You can't blame it solely on the kicker because of how the offense failed to produce in the first half yet again. But that is an absolute heartbreaker as Nolan ends up getting a skill point. Make him better as a run stopper. That gets him up to a sweet 75 overall. And I think we need to I think we need to take a look at maybe changing something up here. So the run and shoot offense, it's a great scheme fit for us, but no. Second highest is the spread offense, and outside of that, 65 for the vertical zone run or the West Coast zone run. What am I thinking here? Because I don't think the spread offense is going to work out that well for us either. Let's go for the vertical zone run. Why not? And the defense at a base 4-3 is still the best way for us to go outside of a 4-6. So we'll see how that works. We've been running the Atlanta offense, which we will probably back out of. Just an assumption. Just an assumption. So what do we want to do here? That's the real question. What would be the best playbook to switch to? Let's find out. Looking for zone and West Coast. I mean, frequent play action, but short and medium doesn't quite fit the scheme. Multiple power run, strong run game, power run. Show me the zone runs, man. Show me the zone. There we go. Green Bay works. We'll stick with that Chargers defense. And hopefully, maybe, we see a little bit of a better performance, at the very least, in that first half from the team. Ofenheusle, this might as well be extortion that you're asking for more money, but we'll do it. He'll be back. Steven Jenkins, Barry Bentley, two other guys that need to be re-signed after this year. The 4-1 Seahawks. If we lose this game, especially after the whole tie not counting deal, if we lose this game, odds are we'll start simming ahead. Maybe we'll give it an extra chance, but it's a rough situation to be in. I feel like maybe not, maybe not 5-0 on the season, but we could have a winning record. It's very unfortunate that we don't. The Seahawks are just one overall point better, as were the Titans last week, and we saw how that went for us. So no real way of knowing exactly what's going to happen here. Fingers crossed, though, it works out. Fingers crossed we get a win, get back to 500, go through the bye week, and maybe, just maybe, find a way to sneak into the playoffs. If not, and we prove to yet again just not be ready for showtime, like I said, we move on. Kareem Hunt has signed with Seattle. That's going to be just a tad bit problematic, but we'll see what we can do. Here we go. First quarter against Seattle. We are in desperate need of a win. The offense does get going. 7-0. Seattle responds in kind. 7-all at the end of the opening 15 minutes. So we move on to halftime. Seattle with another touchdown after a long drive. They respond again. 14 unanswered points. 21-7 at the half in favor of Seattle. Make it 28-7. 31-7. Ouch. My pride, my hopes, my dreams. We made it close, or at least closer by the end of it. 31-20 is your final score. But yet again, it's not looking like the Cardinals are ready for prime time. McCormick had a fairly strong game. 27 completions, 272 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Hughes was okay. Reynaud only gets 1 carry, and it went for a touchdown. Wilson leading the way again as far as receivers are concerned. He had both touchdowns. The O-line struggled a little bit, but that's the main story, though, is our offense just could not keep the defense off the field, and Grant was not trusted to kick a field goal in this game, which, let's be honest, that might be for the best. So, of course, I was hoping he'd develop a little bit better than the likes of Rasmussen. That hasn't exactly happened yet. So we fall to 2-4. We have a bye week in week 7 before we play the Rams in week 8. Weekly awards. We have Meyer, 11 tackles and a pick, the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. And this will be Jenkins, will it not be? Indeed it will. Steven, Jesus, you have some nerve asking for $4 million. I can afford it for now. Odds are he'll be traded eventually. Barry Bentley can also be signed for now, just so that we can continue to keep a little bit of team depth. Of course, we can look to trade these guys in the future, but it will not be for anything decent. It'll mainly be a 7th-round pick swap, if need be. As far as the O-line is concerned, let's finish scouting out Left tackle will go until we find a player who is not projected to be drafted, or until we hit the 7th round. It's right about at the same time, regardless. Tyler Troop, Vlad Hansen, only 2 other left guards, including Al Cook out of Stanford, who might be, and probably will be, the best option there. So we go through the bye week. Let's see what we have to deal with here as we'll continue on with the scouting. We'll go down to left guard. Cook and Ross Albright are there. For centers, not that many, which I gotta be honest is for the best, with us not having a scout to make the most of these points. The 2-4 Cardinals take on the 4-3 Rams. The Seahawks are 6-1, and needless to say, we're going to have a hard time making the playoffs if we lose this game. This is pretty much the point of the season where we are in must-win territory to try and stay competitive. 2 wins, one of them against the 49ers. And one of them, if I'm not mistaken, against the Rams in week 1, was it not? I do believe. No, it was against the 49ers. Okay, so we've beaten San Francisco twice. We've beaten San Francisco twice. I don't think there's too much pride in that. We need to beat a relatively decent team. If we lose to Los Angeles here, it's all over but the crying. So we'll see how this goes. Our season, our hopes for this season, very much on the line. If we lose here, it's over. So Joey, we need a strong performance. We need the O-line to hold up. We need the defense to hold up. We need the running game to somehow get going. Let's see if that's the case. Darby, Klemm, and company ready to go. And we desperately need them to get the job done. Los Angeles. Let's see what you're made of. Let's see what you're capable of. Through the first quarter, we go. The Rams are going to strike first with a field goal, although we had the ball at the 23, 1st and 10 as we start the second. We respond with a field goal of our own, and that scoreline will somehow hold 3-all at halftime, a defensive display. As we begin the second half, nothing happening, even though it looks like both teams are coming extremely close to scoring, and the Rams eventually do. To me, that looked like it was a fumble or pick 6 return. It was a fumble and a quick pass to Cooper Kupp. 10-3, Los Angeles. Can we get back into this game after a brutal time for a fumble? Not that there's ever a good time to fumble, but still, brutal nonetheless. As Hecker with a 65-yard punt. Can the offense get going? The answer is no. Absolutely horrific. The Rams can't get anything going either. Who wants to win this game? Apparently nobody. This is crazy. Just how bad our offense is. The Rams march down the field 17-3 with 3:04 left. That is it. And that is the white flag that we will be waving for this season. We're still not there, as frustrating as it is. Let's just move on. As frustrating as that is, we are still not ready for prime time. I will see you guys at the end of the season. Although, say goodbye to McIntosh and Price. Although I believe McIntosh was already injured. 5-10 heading into week 17. Let's sim our final game of the season against the Rams. A win I think would potentially cost them a playoff spot, although I doubt that's going to be the case. And indeed, we lose. Let's take a look at the season that was. You didn't miss a whole hell of a lot, obviously, with us finishing with that record. The draw would have made it look just a tad bit better. League MVP was Aaron Rodgers, I believe, for the 2nd year in a row, if I'm not mistaken. Coach of the Year is Griffin Murphy, totally not Bill Belichick, also in Detroit. The AFC Awards, of course, as per usual, we are going to breeze through as quickly as we possibly can. Very intrigued to see if we managed to take home, shout out to Reed Redding, very interested to see if we were able to take home any awards. I have my doubts, but it would be nice. So in the NFC, Offensive Player of the Year goes to Rodgers. Defensive Player of the Year no nominees. That's won by Deion Jones in Atlanta. Offensive Rookie of the Year goes to Will Bowers in Washington. No nominees there. Defensive Rookie of the Year to DJ Obi. We had Blair Larson finish 6th in voting. Best quarterback, no, there is the nomination there. I was going to say no sign of Joey McCormick. He finishes 8th. Rodgers wins that, of course. Best running back goes to Saquon Barkley. No real surprise. Hughes finishes 9th. Best wide receiver to Reed Clear in Atlanta. Vincent Wilson finishes 3rd. That's a good season for him, or at least from the looks of it. O-line, Zach Martin led the way. Best D-line, Marion Harrison leads the way. We had Demetrios Brooks finish 5th in voting. Best linebacker was Deion Jones. Darby Klemm finishes 2nd. And in terms of defensive backs, Mack Bohaney wins that nominee there. Cole finished 7th. Best kicker, Henry Bain of the Rams. Frome somehow finished 9th. I don't know how, with some of the mistakes he made this season. We do have some upgrade points here. AJ Ross is up to an 81. He has 2 skill points available. We'll probably put both in the run support, so it'll be nice to see him up to about an 83. Good amount of progression there as well, and indeed, he makes it up to an 83. So the secondary has definitely taken shape. The 23-year-old with star development, AJ Ross, could be great for us. Kyrie Griffith is up to an 86 and has a point. We're going to use that on zone. He does go up to an 87. Beautifully done. +2 tackle, the highlight there for the 27-year-old. Darby Klemm made it up to an 85. He has one of the skill point. I'll put it on field general, and he makes it up to an 86 overall. The defense in particular has taken shape. I think either one more difference maker at linebacker or on the D-line could be the difference maker there. Vincent Wilson with an upgrade point. He's already an 82. I'm going to go into deep threat. That gets him up to an 83. Of course, he had a pretty damn good season. +2 awareness, +3 deep route. Not bad. And Demetrios Brooks with a skill point as well. We'll just put it in the speed rushing, and that gets him up to an 81 overall. Not a bad season. There was actually quite a bit of development. Brooks is 29 years old already, which is absolutely insane. We do not have to re-sign anybody, so that is good. Only thing to do now, as we're showing up as a 78 overall team, only thing to do now is to take a look at a few things. Now, I was taking a look at draft stories, and it did the same thing that it normally does to me, where it's like, oh, hey, we're going to show you players from last season. I mean, finally it's updated, which is nice, but still quite annoying. So it's like, you got Silas Dillon being mentioned there. He's a free safety. We're not exactly going to need him. Joey Wofford might be needed. Here's the thing, though, with draft stories. Oh, keep an eye out on this player, right? Well, here's the thing. We don't know where we're picking. We don't know what the situation's going to be. So I don't like getting my hopes up for draft story players. We'll see what happens, though. AFC North goes to Cleveland. They're the only team to make it. The South goes to the Titans. Texans also make the playoffs. AFC East to the Dolphins. The Jets also make it as well. And the AFC West to the Chiefs. NFC North, the Lions are the only team to make it. NFC South goes to the Falcons. NFC East, you have the Giants and Eagles making it. And in the NFC West, the Rams and Seahawks both make it. We finished 28th in the league with a 5-11 record. Not bad. We should be able to do some damage, I would hope, with that draft pick, depending on who is available. So in terms of the team stats, let's take a quick look. Total offense gained. Where were we? Mid-table, if not slightly more towards the bottom. 5,500 yards in the air, so we would have been closer to the top. Our running game was up there, actually. 6th most rushing. Actually, that's the passing. That was total offensive yards. Passing game was 6th highest. Rushing-wise, I knew that didn't seem right. We were in the bottom 6. Points per game, we had one of the lowest marks at 19.7. 28 passing touchdowns, only 7 rushing touchdowns, second fewest in the league. As far as the individual player stats are concerned, McCormick over 4,300 yards, almost 400 completions on the year, 28 touchdowns, 16 picks. Rushing-wise, Hughes led the way in terms of yardage with 868 yards. Had fewer touchdowns, though, than DeMarcus Reynaud, which is very strange. Receiving-wise, Vincent Wilson, 99 receptions, over 1,200 yards with 11 touchdowns. Great season for him. Farrell, Mack, and Hughes all contributing as well. Blocking-wise, oh my God. No matter how much we improve the offensive line, they still seem to struggle. Jesus, this was one of the worst offensive lines this year. Or that we've seen yet, as brutal as that is. 2 players with over 100 tackles on the year. Darby Klemm was a monster with 12.5 sacks. Interception-wise, 4 for Cole. Leading the way in kicking-wise, Grant Frome. He missed 6 on the year, which isn't all that bad, I suppose. I think it's just more shocking than anything to have seen the offensive line struggle as much as they did. Absolutely brutal. Passing-wise, Reed, Riley, and Aaron Rodgers, both over 4,600. So McCormick, not that bad in terms of total yardage. Passing touchdowns went to Rodgers, the only man to break 40. Rushing-wise, Barkley led the way in terms of yardage and touchdowns, beating out Rashad Penny by 1. Receiving-wise, Wilson was tied for the league lead in receptions with Zay Jones. In terms of yardage, he was 3rd in the league behind Stephon Diggs and Cooper Kupp. And in terms of total touchdowns, he was up there, but 14 led the way for Markham, Clear, and Allen. Blocking-wise, did we have one of the worst O-linemen in the league? We did. Ofenheusle finished 2nd, but Cody Ferentz, yikes, how do you still have a job? Absolutely brutal. And that will bring to a close yet another season here. Let's go ahead and move forward. It is just about draft time, and of course, as per usual, I'm going to leave the choice up to you guys with who you think we should draft. So let's get there. Again, another very disappointing year, especially for the offensive line. We add Ramsey, and yet we are significantly weaker. I really don't care about the Pro Bowl. It is Seahawks and Browns in Super Bowl 60. We'll go ahead and scout college players. I'm going for Cleveland on this one. Why not? Support Cleveland. Linebacker-wise, just trying to make sure we have everybody scouted through the 3rd round, of course, with us not having a linebacker option or linebacker scout option. It's a little bit problematic, but we're doing what we can in terms of making sure that basically everything's scouted. Of course, we won't, well, actually, you won't know this, but the only thing we really didn't put points into this year was running back and quarterback, not linebacker. Linebacker's been fine. Seahawks win the Super Bowl. I don't believe we're going to have to worry about re-signing anybody here. We are not. Every single one of them can walk as we move into the off-season. And we'll see how this plays out for teams that can actually do anything in terms of free agency. We'll use our final few points in terms of scouting. We'll see what we can find here. So linebacker-wise, let's just go ahead and check out Colton Fitch. Middle linebacker, Martin Pratt and Brock Sewell. On the right out-hand side there, Shaw, Erickson, and Haggins. There's really nobody else to look at that I'm all that concerned about. There's a couple of quarterbacks, 5 of whom are projected in the 1st round, but I don't really care. There's actually really nobody else to look at, so you know what? We might as well scout out these quarterbacks just to use the points. Maybe somebody falls, but I mean, Joey McCormick's our guy. He just needs some goddamn help, and no matter what we can do, we cannot seem to get this offensive line into better shape. So hopefully one way or another, whether it be in the 1st round, 2nd round, whenever, we can find some help for our star quarterback, and he can live to see his 40s before he's just a broken down, just a puddle. There's going to be nothing left of him, guys, if you don't figure out how to block and stop him from being sacked, 30 to 40 times this past season? Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. As we'll go ahead and waste points here. Not waste points, but we'll burn the points on running backs. And we should be good to go. Let's do this. We'll, of course, take a look at what happened free agency-wise before taking a look at the draft options that we have here. As far as the league signings are concerned, Jalen Ramsey to the Giants, Mike Arate to the Panthers, Russell Wilson goes to Jacksonville. Russell Wilson in Jacksonville. The Browns with a couple of signings. Nowhere near the biggest free agent class, though, especially with what last year's looked like. So we have the 5th pick in the draft. The Steelers, with the number 1 pick, take 81 overall wideout Jimmy McNeil out of LSU. The Colts, with the 2nd pick, take Joey Wofford, another wideout from Florida State. The 49ers take Frank Clark, 83, left tackle. You bastards. And the Saints, with the 4th pick, take Matt Simon. The two areas where we needed help the most, wideout and the O-line, and arguably, for all we know, the two best options for both are off the board. That sucks. Let's take a look, though, at who else might be available. Shall we? So again, we're not going to worry about any quarterbacks or running backs to start. Wideout-wise, there is only one man left who's projected to go in the first round. That is Deshaun Thompson out of Nebraska. Great route runner. Not all that agile, but decent speed with a solid vert jump for somebody 6'4". Might not be an amazing wide receiver, but could be an all-pro tight end, potentially. So we'll look to have him on the board, but not as impressed. It really does depend on what the catching stats are. For tight ends, we have Fernando Ruff out of Montana, who is very clearly a blocking first tight end. Is he worthy of a 5th overall pick? Probably not. Left tackle-wise, we have Shaman Amy. Power option, 5th in bench press. Not looking all that bad. Projected to be an early first rounder. We'll definitely have him on the board. Left guard, we have Al Cook out of Stanford, who looks like an absolute beast. The grades are solid. He's young. The agility, the bench press, it's all there. Projected to be a late first round pick, but Al Cook might be worth it. Centers, we have Lucas Jensen and Jensen only. Again, very well-rounded, young as well, would have time to develop. Not a bad option. Or right guard, there is nobody. Right tackle, we have Hudson Chris. What a name, out of Tennessee. I'm not as confident about him, though. The agility and the bench press aren't quite there. They're not bad. 22, though, straight Bs. We'll add him to the list as well. Defensively, do we have anybody? We have two options here, DeJuan Spellman out of Texas A&M. The speed and agility's there. The bench press is a little bit low. We can add him to the list, though. And Terrain McCoy, also available. The bench press is horrific, but the speed and agility is also there. Defensive tackle, we have two options. Harris O'Neal out of Penn State. 40 reps on the bench press, 21 years old. Could easily be an option. And Tremaine Prillo, I guess it would be, out of BYU. Fairly well-rounded, but at 23 years old, probably not the guy we want to take. It would be O'Neal, but I'll add him to the poll, of course. Linebacker-wise, we have David White out of Louisville. Easy for me to say. A beast outside of the strength category, essentially. A pass coverage linebacker. Could be worth it. Middle linebackers, we have only one, that being Von Miller out of Texas, who looks like he could be a beast as well. I really don't think we can go wrong. The one hope is that at least one of the players we've looked at somehow falls to the next round. Corner-wise, Brian Hartman is a beast, but let's be honest, we don't need that corner help as much, but he is an absolute monster. I mean, technically we could use a third corner, but, you know. Free safety-wise, we have Silas Dillon out of Nebraska, who is an absolute monster. Wade Richburg out of USC, who has the speed. Overall, not bad. Not too bad. The agility is a bit low, but also pretty damn good. Mr. Stewart, because I don't know how the hell to say your name, also not that bad. Hits like a truck. Lawrence Gowan, also not that bad. And Braxton Freeman of SC State, also not that bad. Don't think any of them will win, though, nor should they, more than likely. Graham Adkins out of Texas, also available, and also not that bad. So out of all the players that we have pinned on this list, we start off. There's one wide receiver option with Deshaun Thompson. He's not that bad. He is a great route runner. We just don't know how good the hands are. He could be, though, especially with those three top skills. An amazing tight end for us. We have a couple of solid offensive line options. I mean, 4 in total, which isn't all that all that promising. And odds are, if we're going to get any O-line help, it has to be in the first round. But are any of these four worth taking over the likes of Thompson? Again, Spellman, McCoy, O'Neill, Priolo. You have White and Miller at linebacker. One corner and Brian Hartman. Quite a few safety options as well. These are the top players projected that remain in this draft. The choice is up to you. Every player you see here will be listed in the poll down in the description. Check it out, and whoever you guys select will be picked here in the first round. And then again, hopefully next year is the year, for the love of God. I'm not exactly giving up on this yet, but maybe I am now at that point where I'm starting to be a little bit concerned. And I really shouldn't be, because we have seen some player development, but it's yet another case of me thinking that the team could have been just a tad bit better than they were last year. Let's hope 7th time's the charm for Joey McCormick heading into his 7th year next season. I'll see you guys then. Excited to see what you think for the draft. Till then, have a good one, and I'll catch you later.